Hello, this is an RM46SPB Cobra mower, which is an 18-inch mower, rotary, with a rear roller to give a lovely stripe to the lawn. So what I'm going to do is unpack it from the box, get it out onto the table, and I'll show you just how quick it is to assemble it so you can start mowing your lawn. Well, here's the mower unpacked out of the box. We've taken all the protective wrapping off it as well, so you can see it. A good strong mower here with the rear roller, so you get that lovely stripe when you mow your lawn. So it's very simple to put together. All you need is a 13mm spanner to be able to put the handlebars on, but we'll come back to that in a minute. You get your engine manual, the mower manual, a spark plug spanner if you need it. This is the cable clip, which we'll need in a minute, and also the grass collection box here. This just needs a little bit of assembly, and it's very simple. It's basically put together, but what we need to do is just to make sure that this base here clips around this wire frame like that. It's just a case of getting a bit of tension on it and opening up that clip with your thumb. Slide that into position so that locks like that, and then the two little side ones here that go on from the inside, again just clip round so that all the grass stays in there when you collect it. And then there are also two protective caps on here, just purely in transit, so it doesn't cause any damage. They just twist off like that. Just twist them in a downward direction, and that's those done away with. There's also a couple of protective caps on the base of what is going to be the handlebar here. Again, these are put on just to stop any scratching in transit, so we're just going to pull those off like that, and you can get rid of those. So now we can put the handlebar assembly up. So I'm just going to pop that bag on the floor to give me just a little bit of working room. So it's partly assembled, but I just need for now just to lift it out of the way, just so that I can get to these brackets here, because this is where it's going to attach, and there's already some nuts and bolts on there, just finger tight, so we just got to take those off. So we've got a nut, a bolt, and a couple of washers, and there are two on either side. So 1, 2 for that side, and I'm going to take them off this side here. So now we can offer this up. So it's just a case of holding this up, bend that into position like that. What we've got to do is we're going to get the base of the handlebar is going to slide into there, and I'm going to hold it in an upright position by making an A-frame with this handle here. You can see that's how that fits, and what we need to do is to line up these holes here, these square holes. The little bolts that we're using have got a square end to them, so that's going to lock into those and stop them twisting. So it's a case of line them up, push the bolt through, and then make sure the square end locks in so it can't twist. And what I'm going to do is just put on then a flat washer, a split washer, and just put the bolt, the nut on finger tight, and then repeat that with the bottom one. Sometimes you've just got to give it a little bit of a wiggle to get it through, and then again it's the flat washer, split washer, and the hexagonal nut. And then you can tighten that up with your 13mm spanner. And the idea is to tighten it up so that the nut tightens onto the spring washer, and that stops it vibrating off when you're mowing the lawn. Okay, so I want that nice and tight onto there, like that. And then we just repeat that on the opposite side. Flat washer, spring washer, and the nut. Finger tight, and then just finish them off with the 13mm spanner, and that's it. Then the spanner can go back into the toolbox. You don't need it anymore. It's all finished with. So that's nice and firm there now. And then the second part of the handlebar is really simple. It's just a case of lifting this up, making sure that the wires aren't trapped at any point. Leave that one round there, like that, and then they just simply lock into position by just pulling the levers up. There's a bit of tension on those which holds them firmly in place like that. So that's the handlebar done, and then we need to remember to put on the cable clip here, and this just holds these two cables onto the handlebar. So I like to put them in there first. There's some grooves where they can go, and then that will just clip over, and that holds them there and just stops them flapping around. So that is basically it. That's the handlebar assembly there. All we need to do now is to get some fuel in there, some petrol, and then the oil as well, and then we can take it down and put it on the lawn, and I can show you how to start the engine. So first of all, we're going to put some petrol in. And with the introduction of the new E10 petrol, it's really important that you use fresh petrol and don't leave it in the tank too long. And you can get a fuel stabilizer as well, just to make sure your mower runs nice and smoothly. So I'm just going to put that in there, and then the cap straight back on. And then the oil is provided with the mower. So you'll get a bottle 0.6 of a litre of this 4-stroke engine oil for the mower. This is a Briggs & Stratton engine that only needs 440 millimetres, so we don't need all of that, you've got some spare. It's got graduations on there so you can gauge how much to put into it. So we're going to have some left. So I'm just going to pour this oil into the filler cap, which is just here. Use a funnel if you want to, but it pours quite easy, it's quite a big aperture. I'm just going to check the level. No, I need more. What's important is that you also use the dipstick to make sure you've got the right amount. Don't guess it at any point. Too much or too little oil in the engine can cause damage. So it is important that we get it right. So I'm just going to get my cloth out my pocket, wipe the dipstick so there's no residue on it, and then push it down, lock it into position, take it out, and we can have a look. And I can see that I actually need just a little bit more oil on there. So pop it in, lock it into position, take it out, and then we can see, and I can see there that the oil is just there to that second hole where the hatching stops, and that is perfect. That is the full point. If it was lower than that, we need a bit more, and we don't want it to go above that. So that can go back in. There we go. We've got new oil in there. We've got fresh petrol in there. So what we need to do is lift it down, put it on the lawn, and I'll show you how to start it. Right, so here we are all ready to start it. Just a couple of things to point out beforehand. We've got our grass collection box, which goes on the back. So that's going to pick up all the clippings as they're thrown out. So we just lift this flap here, and that simply hooks on like that, and then the flap holds that securely in place. So that's really easy to fit. We've also then got the height adjustment here to lift and raise the deck. There are 6 positions. Now when you get the mower out and you assemble it, it's always going to be on the lowest setting, and we don't want to start the engine like that because it will just scuff the grass. So what we can do is lift it up. There are 6 positions here. You can take it right to the top, and then it's a case of adjusting it down to whatever you want before you start, but certainly lift it up for starting like that. We start the mower with this recoil pull here. And it's got a little attachment on here, a bracket. So what we need to do is to pull that up and fit that into that position. And to do that, we've got the red lever at the front here on the handlebars. Just pull that in, and that takes the compression off the engine, and then just very gently pull that out. We don't want to start the engine, and that will just loop into that wire bracket there. So it means that in the future, when we start the mower, instead of having to bend down, we can stand and do it from this position. So that's something to attach very simply. The handlebars, we've got this one, as I said, we need to pull this in to start the mower and also to stop the mower by releasing it. And this one is a self-drive. So in order to propel the mower forward, when the engine's running, we just push in the back lever there. But of course, all this is in the manual. So please do read the manual. Starting is very simple. At the side here on the air filter and the carburetor, there's a little primer button, a red primer button. What we do is we push that 3 times, and that gets a little bit of fuel through into the carburetor. So there's no throttle on this, there's no choke, it's all preset. Just prime it 3 times. And then starting is simple. We pull in the red lever, we pull it. Now bear in mind, this is a brand new mower just taken out of the box. It's never been started. It might fire the first time, it might be the second time, but it will. And then when we want to go forward, we just push in the lever. So let's give it a go. So there you have it, that's the Cobra RM46SPB, which is a self-propelled rotary mower with a rear roller, and it will make a smashing job of your lawn.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.